Do you know? Has anyone seen the kids' film Up? Right, you know the little old man with the glasses on. I swear to you, we were playing away at Sunderland, and a live human version of the man in Up was there. And I said, the lads
hello, ladies and blokes, and welcome to Utter Bloke Nonsense. I'm JJ.
I'm Rabbit.
And we are the FPL American podcast from the other side of the pond. We're American FPL fans who want to deliver some FPL content with a sense of humor that's a little bit different, and also just providing some different perspectives on which players to bring in than the typical content creators in FPL. We are also from America, so we kind of have a different type of point of view on things. We're going to talk about game week 1 and our reactions, how our teams performed, as well as some of our future plans and just the general goings on in the FPL world. I was just in Colorado and I saw the Colorado Rapids, which is actually the best soccer team that the Kroenkes own. So that was pretty cool.
Cool.
I can't think of any others that are quality soccer teams. So
honestly,
just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, like on like the day or this past weekend, I would take the Rapids over Arsenal right now. I mean,
yes,
but we'll talk about that.
Yeah, they were playing against some former FPL goats, or I guess just really one or two, Miguel Almiron and Steven Alzate, and yeah, they were able to triumph there. No more MLS talk because that's not the fantasy that we're interested in here. We could talk about how our teams performed in FPL. I'll pass it off to Rabbit first because he outperformed me in match week 1.
So leading up to game week 1, I made some tinkers, some changes. Primarily, going like up until a couple days before the game week 1 deadline, I had Chris Wood, I had Emil Smith Rowe, and I think I also had Konsa. And I transferred all of them out. So Chris Wood I definitely lost out on, but I did bring in I also had Evan Nielsen actually too. But I brought in Mateta, Mark Guiu, who's been a popular pick. And with that extra money from downgrading Evan Nielsen to Mark Guiu, I brought in Semenyo and a Pedro Porro. And yeah, so my lineup going into game week 1 was Raya in goal, Milinkovic, Aït-Nouri, Pedro Porro, Ndiaye, Semenyo, Kudus, Palmer, Salah, Mateta, João Pedro. Ended on 76 points. It was amazing. Like just watching the first game and seeing Semenyo put in that performance, he was incredible. I mean, he was so good. And when the Liverpool match happened, I felt like I already won the game week. So like going into the rest of the game, I was just like, no one else or Semenyo was just super low ownership, which is sort of crazy because my decision making. I said on the podcast before that like I really wanted a Bournemouth asset, and I thought it would be Evan Nielsen. But just looking at the strikers, I feel like you got to sort of go 7.5 or above, I think, unless you want to really cheap out. And so I went with Mateta just because I do think Palace are going to be good this year. And ultimately I was like, who's the second best, attacking talent on, or who is the next, who in terms of Bournemouth high performing attackers? Yeah, it's Semenyo. So I went there with it, and just paid off super handsomely. His 2 goals were amazing. Yeah, watching that game, Bournemouth played pretty tough. I think it was a fair result at the end of the day in terms of Liverpool winning 4-2. Liverpool definitely in the beginning of the second half, like the first half of the second half, were definitely dominating a lot. They should have scored more. So, but watching that performance from Semenyo, he has earned my loyalty and respect for many game weeks, probably until the AFCON. So at least that's how I feel right now. We'll see, but it just he looks like the talisman of the team. Evan Nielsen looked all right in the game. I mean, it was tough. I mean, he was just running a lot. He was trying to get involved, but he didn't have that much service. Also, Semenyo was just covering so much ground. For that first goal, he somehow gets in front of Evan Nielsen. I don't even know how he did it. Like it's just like, but it's like, like he came in from the right, like to like the center of the box and just beat like even though Nielsen I feel like had a better was positioned better to probably get that ball. I think he was just marked out, but yeah. So Semenyo like pretty much made my game week amazing, but Kudus was another highlight. 2 assists. He was pretty great. I mean, I didn't watch the game, but I watched the highlights. He was very much involved. He did some successful dribbles. 5 out of his 10 crosses were accurate. And yeah, so yeah, he was just very efficient. And I know he didn't get that many defensive contributions or C-bits this past week, but I know he's capable of that. I think in one of the preseason game he got like 14 defensive contributions. So, and he does just tend to track back and recover and put in some tackles. In that game, obviously Spurs were just dominating. So I'm just glad he got some attacking returns. Ait Nouri was pretty great. I didn't watch the game, but obviously clean sheet, got a bonus point, met the C-bit threshold with 15 actions, which is quite crazy. From what I heard, he played left center back for the most part, so I guess that's why he got those defensive contributions. When Gvardiol is back, I expect him to be getting more on the attack. But overall, yeah, it was a pleasant surprise to see Ait Nouri get those C-bit points. And Raya also just in the Arsenal United game was just huge for me. He got so many saves, and did he get the bonus points? I'd be shocked if he didn't get all the bonus points. He got all the bonus points.
Yeah.
Yellow card though, that sucks. We hate to see it, but yeah, definitely going into the season, I was like, I need an Arsenal defender. There were some doubts around Gabriel, and Saliba. I mean, yeah, if you're not going for Gabriel, I don't know. Like Saliba, is just sort of just slightly worse to the point where it's just like, why would you even sort of go there? I guess, but so I was just like, and like it was hard for me to settle on a keeper, so I'm just like, I'm just gonna go for the keeper with a good defense. So, and I definitely will be keeping a hold of Raya for the foreseeable future as my Arsenal defense representation. In terms of where my team fell a little bit short, it was definitely João Pedro and Mateta blanking, which sort of sucks, and Palmer. That game was tough. I knew I'm a Chelsea supporter, so I watched the entirety of that game. I knew it was going to be a tough game. I knew maybe Palmer wasn't going to haul, Pedro wasn't going to haul, Mateta probably wasn't going to haul. So I knew I wasn't going to be, but like my plan was like Pedro and Palmer were always long-term picks. They have it's just a pretty good fixture on. Is it easy per se? No, but it's just like I think they're talented enough to definitely pop off every couple of weeks. So I'm not panicking with them. Same with Mateta. Like the Palace just came to the bridge ready to frustrate us, and that's what they did. Chelsea looked not as sharp or quick as we've really come accustomed to, but I'm being patient, and I could have had Wood instead of Mateta, but I think I did say in one of the previous podcasts I did expect Wood to at least get 1 against Brentford. 2 is crazy. Wood usually doesn't get more than 1 in my experience owning him, but I'm still feeling good about Palace. Just looking at the Chelsea game, I think they're going to be great, and I think a lot of people were honestly surprised that Palace were able to get that result. And yeah, and in my Premier League predictions, I did have them quite high. So, how about your team?
Yeah, I like the looks of Palace. They also this was their hardest fixture for the first 5 weeks. So
Yeah,
I feel really good. Forest at home, that's not super easy. Neither is Villa away. But I don't think that those are super hard. I can see Mateta scoring in any one of those. So yeah, I think that Forest. I have Munoz from Forest. I think
or
not from
Palace.
Forest, from Palace, and yeah, I think they're looking very solid. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was the City game. I was surprised that Nuri played 90 minutes, and he looked good. Yeah, he was sort of inverting. I'd say he's still our left back, but he's definitely inverting, and Doku was getting back a lot, um, sort of on the left flank as well. And yeah, I think honestly, he had a really good game. I think the marking still left a little bit to be desired, but obviously he's not the same player as Guardiola, and that's a really high standard to live up to. So I think as long as Guardiola is out, he'll be nailed. And honestly, even with Guardiola in, I like Guardiola left center back, Diaz right center back, and then Nuri can still hold down that left flank. So I feel like yeah, that was the gamble paid off, and he was just very impressive in the game week 1, and so I think that he'll hold on to that spot in the Pep roulette, and Pep also kind of likes new signings, so I think there's gonna be a roulette at some point, but Pep more than a lot of other managers will just instantly put the new signings into the team, and yeah, Rico Lewis also didn't play the whole game, but he was very good. I was
True.
really impressed by him. He was the more attacking counterpoint of the fullbacks. Maybe not a great FPL asset because there is that rotation with a lot of different guys, honestly, on City. Mateus Nunes being the main other choice right back. Um, but yeah, a little bit on my team. The bench boost definitely was not the choice, or at least I failed because of the players I picked. I think the keepers were really tough because I had Areola in my team from West Ham, and he turned out to not be the first choice keeper for West Ham. Instead, it was Hermanson. And either way, even if I had Hermanson in my team, it would not have been great because they were just shipping goals. I think really one of the storylines is the 4.5 keepers. None of them were really good this week. None of
Hmm.
them. The only 4.5 keepers that actually returned were guys who I don't think anyone really would have in their team. It was Sunderland's keeper, it was Leeds' keeper, and then it was the backup for Villa since Emi Martinez was injured. So just kind of not necessarily surprising because they are the cheaper keepers there, but definitely a little disappointing there to have a guy blanking on the bench with 0 pointer during a bench boost week. Um, I actually feel okay about a lot of my other picks. Both of my differential midfielders returned, so I feel really good about that. Jorginho getting the assist and also a clean sheet to give him a 6 pointer. And then Harry Wilson with the very clutch late assist right at the end of that game to give him a 5 pointer. I think him playing 90 minutes was really big because when he plays 90, he really often gets a return. Obviously, that's a bit of a gamble. Um, Adama Traore came off the bench but was playing like a right wing back with Wilson still in the squad. So that was just an interesting choice there. Um, but yeah, I thought he looked good overall. He's on set pieces still, and then he got the return on the set piece, so that was great. Yeah, so rounding out the rest of my team, Verbruggen was my other keeper other than Areola. came very close to getting a clean sheet, but in the 90-minute, they conceded there, which was very tough. But I felt pretty good about him. I think with the Brighton defense, there's not like a huge shot of them getting clean sheets really because they are a very attacking team. They play back and forth a lot. But I still like Verbruggen. He's kind of a sweeper keeper. I think he has the chance to get a lot of ball recoveries and maybe get some bonus points from that. So I'm not too mad about having him in my team moving forward, especially since they're playing Everton next week, and that was a shocking performance today. So I think he could get a clean sheet.
Yeah.
Then I have Nico Williams, Joachim Anderson, Munoz, who I mentioned earlier, and De Kuiper rounding out my defense. De Kuiper also was very close to getting that clean sheet, similar to Verbruggen. They just scored right at the end. Nico Williams, definitely one of the bigger disappointments, I would say. The clean sheet getting wiped out right at the end of the game. Also, getting a yellow card there to give him only a 1-pointer. And then his the other fullback, actually Ola Aina, had a better performance, got the CBIT points, and I believe he was subbed off before they conceded as well. So he ended up actually having he at the very least had more points than Nico Williams for game week 1, which was unfortunate. Midfield. Salah was my captain, performed well. Then I had Njai, Palmer, Jorginho, and Wilson, who I'm the two differentials who I mentioned earlier. Strikers, Eva Nielsen, I was a little bit disappointed. I think striker against Liverpool is just really tough because they do have one of the best center back pairings in the league. And he was making runs, and I feel like his runs off ball actually created a lot of the chances for Semenyo and the other
He was working
Brentford
hard.
or Bournemouth midfielders. Just because he's good at like peeling off and sort of creating space for them to run down the middle. But yeah, he had like one or two good chances, but was not really able to get anything in the net. And then also that yellow card was tough. But I'm happy he played 90. I think that the fixtures moving forward, I definitely think Wolves at home, their defense wasn't looking great, so he'd get a return there. I think the weeks moving forward, he definitely could. So I don't feel too bad about having him in my squad. Watkins and Bowen, honestly, I feel like a little bit worse about them. Just because Villa and West Ham were pretty shocking for match week 1. Villa their attack is just very weird right now. They had John McGinn playing left wing. I don't know who was starting at right wing for them. It was Morgan Rogers. Like it's just like both of those guys I always think of as central midfielders. Rogers maybe he's more attacking, but still like I feel like it was like a bit of a regressive lineup. And then once they got the constant red, it was going to be really hard for them to score. So, very disappointing. And then, West Ham might have the worst vibes of any team in the league right now.
Toxic.
Shipping goals to a team that just got promoted. I know we're both really high on Sunderland, so I was really happy to see it from like a fan's perspective, and I think it made me feel even better about my table prediction that I had a couple episodes ago, and just generally, I think that they're a really good team. They've signed good players. Mukiele just came in actually too, so they just continue to strengthen their team with some proven guys who played Champions League football and just high level football. But still, they're not the West Ham should not be losing by 3 to them. I was just the only player from West Ham that I was impressed with was what's the left back's name? What's that?
Diouf?
Diouf, yes. El Hadji Malik Diouf. was actually nasty. He was like ripping long shots. He's on set pieces for them. Like I didn't realize that he's like actually kind of a guy who gets in the action that much. Because he
That
came
sound
from
interesting.
Czech Republic. But yeah, he looked really good. He had one long shot that like probably would have gone in if it didn't get deflected. But yeah, everyone else in West Ham was just looking uninspired, and yeah, I don't know. Like I was just not impressed. I don't know if they. I'm willing to hold on to Bowen because I think he's like when he's healthy, he's sort of always been a pretty good FPL asset. Um, no matter what team he plays for, but I'm definitely starting to think about if I end up making moves or wild carding in the next couple of weeks, he's gonna be coming out of the squad for sure. So yeah, I think that was disappointing to say the least. Um, but yeah, that's my team. I actually had Reinders in my team leading up to this game week, and then I was just sort of waffling on it, and I liked Jorginho Rutten, and I was like, I really think he's going to start. He's been good this preseason. He's going to be striker for Brighton. That means there's always some good returns going around. A high scoring team with a good attack, sort of almost like a Joao Pedro of years past. And so I felt better just because also the Pep rotation. Reinders can play like a deeper holding midfielder as well as an attacking midfielder. So I just wasn't sure. Then also, with me, I kind of like to emotionally hedge in fantasy, in FPL. So I don't have any City assets in my team, and part of that is kind of on purpose because I get enough pleasure from like watching them do well in real life, and so I don't want to like have my team's success hinging on that as well, and get pissed at them if I see them make a mistake or not play well. So I probably should have just stuck with him because I think he's the guy that everyone is talking about. 5.5. He's looking like an absolute steal. And I think I will probably end up bringing him in some point in the future. But yeah, regrettable to not have him in my lineup match week 1. Um,
Well, at least your
yeah,
bench
but
boost is out of the way.
what's that?
Your bench boost is out of the way. You don't have to worry about it. You know, you don't have to
Yes.
plan around it. Like, that's what I'm sort of nervous about, is trying to plan around my bench boost now. I think I just might, like, wing it. You know, like, if there's, like, a week where I'm just like, Fulham away, not so bad for De Koiver or whatever. You know, it's like, it's like, I'm gonna,
Yeah.
or,
Yeah, I feel like there are a couple opportunities, and also you can do it after or before or after wild carding, since we're gonna have to hit that
yeah.
wild card in the first 19 weeks as well.
Yeah, but I like
Um,
your Reuter pick. I think he's definitely gonna actually get. He might have that spot locked down because O'Reilly's supposed to be on the move to Juventus. I think
oh, wow,
that
that's
I
interesting.
think is
Yeah,
gonna happen because Douglas Luiz is also probably going to Forest,
right.
which is and that's a very Forest purchase. But
Yeah, for real. They've
and
the amount of Brazilian midfielders that they have brought in, and I feel like they like Danilo, the guy that they dumped, and like several others.
yeah,
Um, That's
but
interesting. Yeah, O'Reilly. I was gonna mention him because I think I mentioned on a pod before. Like he is playing super attacking for them. He's almost playing striker a lot for them in preseason. And he took the penalty for them, which is kind of wild.
I
Um,
know. I
disappointing,
don't know if they're
but
just trying to inflate his value. I think that's what it was. I think they were literally trying to do that. Like they were just like,
yeah,
"Hey, take the pen," so like it gives an extra 5 mil on top, you know. But
that's funny.
yeah, it's sort of Juventus's transfer policy really weird. But
Yes,
but yeah, like that strike force. I mean, this week for Evan Nielsen was always going to be tough. But it is about the fixtures after it's after game week 1. it's looking good. I just
For sure.
Villa are absolutely confounding. Honestly, like I'm glad I avoided them. I'm glad I'm glad I'm a hater because yeah, if I had Konsa, I think I would have already transferred him out by now.
Yeah.
And Watkins, I wouldn't feel too good about, especially at his price. And yeah, West Ham absolutely despondent stuff. So and like yeah, I'm glad I had Bowen for a little while in my team, and glad I laid off. I just have Wan-Bissaka now, which I think will eventually come good. And ultimately, it's like a 4.5. Like honestly, I don't need to play him like practically ever. I could just he's just there for an emergency, really. Like seriously, if someone cannot play. So, um, yeah. Any potential moves you've been eyeing or lining up? Like, obviously, it's hard to pull the trigger after game week 1 or this soon. But anything on your mind?
Yeah. So honestly, I feel really good about my team right now. I would say, especially with the perspective of like it was a bit of a disappointing performance, especially bench boost. Um, I think I like. I mean, I was always picking a team for the long run instead of just for week 1. So maybe that was where I could have done better with the bench boost if I had been a little bit short sighted. So I'm not planning on making any transfers match week 2. Um, Next for match week 3, United play Burnley at home, and so
Ooh.
I am thinking about bringing in either Mbumo or
Cunha.
what's his name? I don't know why I'm blanking on the cheaper guy.
Dorgu.
No, midfielder. He he was really good for them last year. Like he kind of played wing back and winger.
Oh,
Um,
Ahmad.
yeah, Ahmad. Yeah, so
He didn't
either
get like any
Ahmad
minutes
or
last week though.
what's that? Yeah, he didn't
Didn't
really
get
play, so
yeah, he didn't get
that's
minutes.
that's that's tough. But yeah, I think it'll probably be in Bumo, and I was gonna at one point it was gonna be even Nielsen down to a 4.5 mil striker, but now Watkins or Bowen maybe are in the crosshairs as well. So we'll see, but it'll probably be downgrading one of my strikers to bring in a slightly more expensive midfielder in Bumo. I do think like yeah, Burnley at home is probably a fixture to target. Uh, After seeing what Spurs were able to do to them, I think that is just going to be one that all season people will probably be targeting. Like when Salah plays Burnley at home, that's probably if it's not during the AFCON, that's probably a triple captaincy shout or Holland. Like yeah, they're going to be someone to target. So I'm thinking of doing that, and then since we have an international break after that, if I'm really not feeling my team after the first 3 match weeks, I may wild card as well just to kind of get it out, use
So
another chip because I
that
like to try to use my chips early and be aggressive, and
that's a
have I
reasonable
like
time.
and then with wild cards, I think it's always nice to take like a week to or to have like a international break to sort it out so that you could tinker, figure things out, wait for like any news or injuries that go on during that time, and then you could lock it in. So I'm thinking of doing that. Right now I'm pretty happy with my team, so I might just do Mbumo and keep it, and if I feel good about that. Um, but we'll see. How about you?
Yeah, the only thing that got me thinking about my team, well, 76 points first game week, 400K in the world right now. I'm feeling nice about my team. The only spot I really got me thinking was NDI today.
Yeah,
Because if Rangers keeps starting and is playing this attacking, I'm just gonna easily downgrade to
for
Rangers.
sure.
Like But I am not. Yeah, I'm not gonna be too quick about it. Like I'm not because like honestly, like because the rest of my midfielders balled out pretty hard, and I think they're gonna continue to do well. Like I like it's like no real rush. I mean, like Semenyo outscored Rangers, so like I'm good. Like that's the way I view it. Like I can wait. He'll still be cheap enough for me to buy at any time. He did go up in price last night. He's 5.6 now, but yeah, like I have like all these 6.5 midfielders, so I'm ready to downgrade if someone ends up being a cheap beast. Also, Anderson had a pretty good from Forest. Is it Anderson?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
He
he had
got the C bid.
yeah, he got
Yeah.
the C bid, and he got an assist, I think.
Oh, he did? Oh, okay. I didn't even
So,
realize that. I thought, yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
so yeah, he did ended up doing pretty well. I could probably, if for some reason Rangers is a victim to the pep roulette, maybe that, but that's like pretty much all I'm really looking at. Feeling good about pretty much everything else. I mean, next game week is going to be sort of tough with Spurs playing City. I like Kudus probably will not do so well. Pedro Porro might not do so well, but sometimes Spurs show up against City at weird moments. So,
Yeah.
and so we'll see how that goes.
Now
And
Spurs,
yeah,
actually, I mean, at the Etihad, Spurs have been slightly less of a thorn in our sides, but at London Stadium, wait, is that where they play now? What's it called? Well, it used to be White Hart Lane, but
yeah, it's just
uh,
called the London. Yeah, it's like,
yeah,
is it just called the London Stadium? I feel like that's also
I,
the West Ham
yeah, I
place
think that's
too.
where West Ham play. But yeah, regardless, yeah, top Spurs away for City is like one of our worst fixtures historically. Like we went years without a win on the road against Spurs. Um, So yeah, they always play us tough, even at home. And honestly, with Kudus on the wing, I feel like that's where we're most vulnerable, even against Wolves last week. Like if you just catch an offside trap at the right time, you're gonna have a breakaway. And maybe you're gonna be shooting on Donnarumma, but
Oh Lord.
it's probably gonna still be Trafford for Saturday. But still, it's like I feel like if you get enough of those, you're gonna score. And yeah, whether that's Kudus or Brennan Johnson, I feel like we could be prone to a goal or two from those guys. Um, yeah, so I think that Spurs assets tough. That's honestly why, even though I'm definitely disappointed because I had Kudus in my team for a while. I talked about bringing him in last week, and the City fixture was what scared me away in week
Hmm.
two. Also the minutes, and now I'm like Njai, who I brought him in over, is not very inspiring. He probably was the best Everton player during that game.
Yeah, he
But
tried.
also he was like taking guys 1-on-4, and yeah, like I don't know, they looked so bad. It was
Yeah, there were
actually like
multiple moments where he was
unbelievable.
just mobbed and like he would like beat one or two, but then just eventually get like sort of boxed out. Yeah, like he did not get enough
Yeah,
service. Yeah, though he was like trying to make
not at
stuff on his
all.
own, but yeah, he was
No,
not in the
Pickford,
box with the ball or like ready to shoot.
no. And Pickford, like, yeah, everyone looked off. Pickford's kicking was kind of weird. Like he kept on kicking the ball out. I thought like when they brought Grealish in, he brought like a little bit of something. I think if Grealish is able to start over Alcaraz, I think that would be interesting for next week.
Yeah,
And I actually
Alcaraz
think,
was sort of bad.
yeah, Alcaraz was bad. It looked like might have gotten injured too, and was
Hmm.
playing with like a knock or something. But yeah, I think I actually do feel like Brighton at home next week for Everton. I think they'll get some goals, so I'm not feeling too bad about Njai. I feel I'm gonna start him for sure. Um, but yeah, whether it's Beto scoring or I bet it's gonna be someone random like what's his name? If Ranthwaite's still injured, then Keane might just get a random goal like he always
A
does.
random banger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
riff. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, some of the other storylines from this game week. In the Liverpool game, Both Kerkez and Frimpong were subbed at the 59th minute, which is sort of a classic slot sub. I feel like him, and maybe even slot Klopp too. I feel like they're aggressive with their subs, which as like a fan, if I were a fan of Liverpool, I probably wouldn't be too mad, especially since like I feel like they were able to turn the game around, and some of the subs that they brought on were pretty good. But for FPL, 59th minute sub is really the worst thing that could happen. So that was really tough.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm being patient with them. I will eventually bring in Liverpool defense, assuming they're as good as last year.
Yeah,
But yeah, that was quite concerning.
it was.
I would be pissed if
Yeah,
I had either one of them. Yeah.
and yeah. Speaking of Liverpool defense, Virgil van Dijk with the 21 seeded points. That was pretty impressive. I honestly did not realize from watching it. I guess because he only
Yeah.
had one tackle and most of the he had 20 what is it? Ball recovery or not ball recoveries, because that's for midfielders. Blocks, clearances. Yeah. So interceptions. So yeah, he's looking like a CBIT stud for sure. Also, surprisingly, Mo Salah had 10 CBIT-R, which is 2 below because midfielders need 12. But still, not really. Maybe people were talking about this and I missed it, but I feel like Salah is one of the last people I'd expect to get the CBIT points. So that was interesting. I mean, I guess he was playing like a little bit deeper and in a role that more of like a service role. He had one chance that he kind of scuffed or got blocked. And then he scored it towards the end of the game. But until the game like really fell apart and broke down for Bournemouth, he was like a little bit more in a reserved role than I think people would have liked. Still, he got bonus.
Yeah. Like Salah was honestly not as sharp as he typically is. Like he has like
Yeah,
absurdly high standards, but he was honestly messing up. Like I felt
he
like,
was.
for most of the game. Yeah, and like so yeah, it was a weird performance. Yeah, of course he gets his jammy 90th minute
Yeah.
stoppage time goal. But
Yes, this is why we love him.
yeah,
But yeah,
that's why we picked him. But yeah, like I
but tough.
guess more on the like Liverpool defense. I mean, well, Van Dijk defends with his aura, so that's why all those
Yes,
contributions came from. And
yeah,
also, yeah, on the the second Semenyo goal, he was definitely caught defending with his aura. Also,
yes,
both Kanate and Van Dijk were just terrified to put a foot in. But
yeah. And he got Van Dyke got bodied by Evan Nielsen on the lead up to one. Like one of Evan Nielsen's best plays where he crossed it in and it didn't get in, but he recovered the ball and like bodied him, and that was a sick play. Um,
mhm,
but yeah, I mean overall, yeah, it's a good like recovery from him to concede 2 goals, and I think he still ended up getting 4 or 5 points
yeah,
VVD.
that's fine.
So
And I guess
um,
last point on Liverpool, Ekatike was looking
yes,
great, and it's sort of annoying that this Isaac news or this Isaac transfer is probably happening because he would be so fun to have in FPL if he was, just the striker all the time. Like, I would
definitely.
definitely be thinking about, yeah, making some funds for him right now. Honestly, if there was no Isaac news, I mean, I'd sort of gone a bit quiet. I mean, it's probably going to be a deadline day thing, but
Yeah.
honestly, if Ekatike keeps performing like this, it's just like he's like already performing at such like obviously Isaac is the better player, but in terms of his just overall play, it's like how much better can you really get in 90 minutes? It's like you can't Liverpool can't score 10 goals a game, okay? Like, it's just like adding more good goal scorers won't get you the more goals. Like you just like need the people who understand the system. And Ikatike, I mean, after years of watching Darwin, Like, it's just like, oh my god, this is proper link up play, It's like
Yeah. Well, that's what's funny is like I guess like Isak also like they're pretty similar in terms of
there's
like
very
Isak's
similar.
link up play is really nice too. I don't think he had a ton of assists last year, but that was always something that's in his bag.
Yeah, they're both like
Um
striker wingers. They're like Henri
yeah,
regions, It's like
exactly. And Gakpo is too kind of, even though Gakpo is like more of a pure winger, but they're all just these big guys who can play off the wing. Which will be really, I mean, it's gonna be tough because it's like it's gonna be like a Gakpo, Isak, Ekatike rotation most likely, with probably Isak being the favored one who's always gonna fit slot into the team. Whether he's most likely just gonna be the striker and then Ekatike winger, but they could even flip that around. Um, but yeah, it is a shame because like yeah, Ekatike, the goal was like kind of jammy, but for him to get
yeah, it
into that
was.
spot, the super clean finish, like yeah, the Darwin thing, like yeah, Darwin would have skied that one for sure. So that
Well,
is a
Darwin
is
wouldn't
a
even try the Meg. He
yeah,
wouldn't even try
true.
to Meg Senesi, but like
You would have just
honestly,
shot it.
when I was watching the game, like the announcers were sort of like, "Oh, Senesi did so bad trying to defend it." I'm just like,
Nah,
I don't think he did. I guess he could have gone in more assertively, but I was just like, it sort of just looks like it was a shitty bounce for him. I don't know. It's just like
yeah, it was.
sometimes it happens. But yeah, I
I
mean, Ikatike like was just. He also had some chances. Like he missed a header,
yes,
with a
yeah,
pretty good
on that one
chance.
off the post,
But
yeah,
yeah, he was getting fed and also just creating stuff for the team. So it just sucks that the Isaac stuff is happening because
it is.
he'd be fun to have and like just start all the time.
Yeah, so I agree. And like, yeah, if you're listening and thinking about bringing him in, I feel like if for like the fun factor, maybe go for it. He's a very fun player, but like, yeah, I think for like strategy wise, you gotta wait and see about the Isak stuff because
hmm
it's like it just reads it's reading like it's gonna be a headache down the road. So yeah, not ideal, but I mean, a lot of people already brought him in. He was one of three price risers. And speaking of Liverpool assets and their transfers, the biggest transfer player out was Verts. Rabbit, I feel like you called this one, honestly. But yeah, I thought he played pretty well, but at the same time, he put up a big donut for FPL, or I mean, he got 2 points, but um, he
Well,
blanked.
yeah.
He was not looking quite as attacking or impressive as he did in the Community Shield. And yeah, I mean, I understand why people are bringing him out. Like, week one is the biggest knee jerk week, and he's one of the more expensive midfielders that you could have in your team. Um, and so I'm guessing a lot of people went him to like Semenyo or Reinders, maybe even to like try to bring in Holland, who had a really good game week. Um, but yeah, regardless, I honestly, I mean, if you have Verts, I'd say hold him. It was a
Yeah,
little bit
keep him.
disappointing for him not to get any returns, but I think he will. And I don't know, Liverpool's fixtures are all right moving forward. I think he's a good enough player where you can get one.
I mean, yeah, Liverpool, any Liverpool asset, you should just play them. They could beat
Right.
anyone. And
They're gonna get something.
yeah, my only concern with Wirtz, maybe Gravenberg changes the formulation here.
Right.
Maybe even Bradley playing changes the formulation like here. But like, will Wirtz be just the assister of the assister? Because that
Yeah.
sucks for FPL. Not that
Yeah.
he
Sort
looks
of like
pretty good.
Soboslai last year.
Yeah, yeah. Soboslai, like, yeah. Also, Soboslai being a CDM was not ideal for
Wild.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If Wirtz ends up, so maybe if Soboslai, Gravenberch plays where Soboslai did this past weekend, Soboslai moves up, and then Wirtz plays more of like a traditional wing type of position. Maybe he's not being in those sort of slightly deeper positions where like the best you could hope for is like really an assist. He's not like
Right.
getting in behind or whatever. So Yeah, we'll have to see with Wirtz. I mean, I'm glad I sort of held off him. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff going on with Liverpool, so it's like it's hard
Right.
to make that's why I just went with Salah for the most part.
Yeah, I think actually, like, I'll probably have Verts in my team at some point. If Liverpool have a really good run of fixtures,
Yeah,
like the
it's good to
Verts
have
and
two
Salah
Liverpool
double up.
attackers. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, for now, especially because their fixtures are not like super easy moving forward. I know they have Arsenal coming up in a couple weeks for match week 3. So yeah, I think I'm gonna hold off on bringing any additional Liverpool assets in, at least until those fixtures get a little bit easier. Speaking of Arsenal, actually, um, Arsenal United. That game was an absolute snooze fest.
Yeah.
But honestly, I came away like a little bit more impressed with United.
I believe that.
They look solid.
Yeah. It definitely looked like they had a game plan and they were actually executing it well. I do think it looked like they definitely have more of an identity. Cunha and Mbuma were just like running at him, which was, fun to see. But I do think it was just Arsenal being really conservative and sort of shithousey. So it was hard to tell who was if United was really good or Arsenal were just really bad because I think it was just Arsenal sort of being bad, to be honest. Also, going to Old
Yeah.
Trafford first game week,
Yes.
it is not an easy game, and I understand why Arsenal would want to just grind it out, and they did that. The goal, I mean,
Oh my God, so jammy.
something needs to be done about them. Like something needs to be
Yes,
done about boxing out the keepers.
please.
This wasn't the worst case of this happening. And honestly, I like listening to like just podcasts like reviewing the game week that just passed. People aren't really complaining about it, I feel like, but I was just like because it wasn't the worst incident in terms of like Arsenal has done this in the past and to a much worse degree, but I'm just like it happening again is just so annoying. It's just like how like there needs to be some like a freedom of movement for the keeper. Like you just get no more illegal screens. I beg.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
I feel like that they're manufacturing consent about it, honestly. The
Yes.
announcers during the game,
Yeah. They're
that
just like,
was
oh, what are you
wild.
gonna do about it?
Yeah, they
It's sort
were
of like a force of nature. It's like what?
yeah, they were like Bindier needs to do better there. Like he's getting pushed off of his spot
He
so
could have
much.
been stronger. He could have been
Yeah,
stronger.
he
But at
could
the
have
same
been, but
time, it's just
also,
like it was
yeah,
obvious there's some obstruction. I'm just like,
if
yeah.
if there's a guy backing up into you, it's gonna be hard to jump forward into the ball, and you don't want to injure yourself. Obviously, like you're in a box with a bunch of other people. So yeah,
Mhm.
I agree. I feel like honestly on corner kicks, you should not be allowed to touch the keeper. Like unless it's completely incidental. Obviously, that's gonna be really hard to do. But like setting a pick on the keeper, like
I
Arsenal
know.
tries to do on every corner kick, it's just yeah, it's very annoying. Also annoying because like that ball was going in, and then Calafiori just like got the slightest header on it to redirect it, and yeah, I think I just have a grudge against Calafiori because he scored that crazy accidental goal that was supposed to be a cross against Man City last year. And so yeah, I have a grudge against him, and I think yeah, him being one of the highest scoring defenders in FPL is some fraudulence to say the least.
I mean,
But yeah,
yeah.
I honestly agree with. I think that Arteta on the road, especially at a stadium like Old Trafford, he plays like the most regressive football you'll ever see. And honestly, this is kind of why, like, in the Champions League and like in the bigger stage games, they're somewhat disappointing because I just don't think they have that other gear to actually turn it on and to be more attacking. Like when they were playing against PSG and they just like couldn't muster up the goals. Um, so yeah, I think that was like a kind of a classic Arsenal, um, just sort of terror ball game. But I still I like I think United, I do feel like you said, they felt like they have an identity. And last season they felt like they were just scraping by and just trying to be alive. So I think Amarim's getting his system in. I also thought that Mount was pretty awesome.
Mount was great.
Um,
Yeah.
Seeing him healthy and like contributing, I was surprised but pleasantly because I mean he's just been out of the equation for a while. So I thought overall, I mean, it was a pretty boring game, but I think there were some interesting takeaways. And
Yeah. Mount
yeah,
even
I
hit
think
one of those passes where like he crouches over before he hits it. You know it's gonna be good. You know it's gonna be
yeah,
good when he does that. We love to see it.
yeah, the classic Mount aura farming pass. Um,
It is.
but yeah, yeah, I guess the sort of general stuff, FPL stuff, any sort of like advice. I would say just like if I think that there's a reason why people you picked your team for the first match week, and don't try not to knee jerk in the first couple of weeks. Like I think that people like Ekatike, Reinders, the guys that everyone's bringing in right now, they do look really good, and obviously they're the highest scoring guys. They're the first on the list. People are going to want to bring them in. But they each have their own like concerns with whether it's the Pep roulette, whether it's Isak coming in. Um, and also, I think it's too small of a sample size to bin somebody. Even like Bowen, like even for me with
Yeah.
Bowen, like I was not. I was very very disappointed by how West Ham plays, but who knows? Like they're going to be back at London Stadium. They're going to be playing against Chelsea, so not the easiest defense, but uh, I'm holding on and maybe holding on for dear life and saying a prayer. But
But at the end of
yeah,
the
I'd say
next
just
game week, you'll have 2 transfers and just more money to play
yes,
with, so.
exactly. Yeah, I'd say just work to the wise. Yeah, don't need your team in the first 3 game weeks. And oh yeah, the other topic I wanted to talk about was striker performance
Mm.
this match week is a little bit rough. There were only I think there were only 6 strikers. This is before the Everton Leeds game, so maybe there are more now. Only 6 strikers who actually like got returns. Um and so I think that is not ideal. Wait, let me see.
Yeah, I don't know if the guy who scored for Leeds is
Oh,
striker in
Mecha.
the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it actually was. There's a Mecha. So, but before that, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven strikers, and then I guess Isidore and Mecha. But still, only 8 strikers actually got returns for this first match week. And yeah, Joao, a lot of the popular ones blanked. Bowen, Joao Pedro, Watkins, um, that full crew who I had in my team at one point,
I mean,
Strand Larson.
Mateta,
Yes. Gyökeres was looking a little bit disappointing and got hooked for Kai Havertz, I believe, also at the 59th minute. Um, so yeah, there's some disappointing striker performances. I think that's something to keep an eye on for this for FPL in general. I could
Mhm.
see there being a meta where it's like just Holland or maybe like Holland, like people might just like consolidate all their striker money into one guy and then
Yeah.
transfer the funds, like share the wealth, spread the wealth around because the strikers just there might not be a lot of consistent strikers this year.
We're
I know
going
the best.
5-4-1.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, honestly, some real Brexit ball. Um, but no, a lot of the best teams that I was looking at, the best scoring teams, had the Holland and Salah double up. So I can see that
Yeah,
being the move.
it's hard to beat, I guess, but I mean, they both sort of. I mean, Salah didn't exactly haul. Holland did haul,
No,
but
yes,
um, so on average, it's going to be tough to beat them. But there's also just like a lot of popular picks that underperformed. Yeah, like you said, Pedro and there are others. Bruno, obviously.
Yeah.
Saka,
Oh man,
Palmer, all didn't
I don't
return.
see the vision with Bruno. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not. No, I'm never touching that guy, to be honest. But
Yeah.
yeah, like with strikers, it's always been. I've always found it probably the most hard and frustrating part of my team selections most of the time.
Yeah.
Because whenever they don't perform, you're just like, what do you like? What are they doing? You know, like what is their you know? It's like, what do they do? Do they do anything?
Right.
And
What did
even when
they
they get
even
the
do?
goal, even when they get the goal,
Yeah.
it's a little less than a
It's less
midfielder.
points.
Okay, it's like so.
Yeah.
And there's probably less chance for a bonus and like all this stuff. Like if you get 2 goals, you're probably getting 3 bonus points. But like
Yep.
I just feel like
You
there's
need
like
to basically in order to get bonus as a striker.
yeah. And yeah, I just think it's not it's sort of weirdly balanced against the strikers. I think the game is,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's like honestly, that you mentioned just like having one mega striker, which is Holland. That sounds really good right about
I
now.
know.
I do hate just worrying about strikers because they're just fickle. Their returns are fickle. Like that they just in terms of how the game is played, how they get points, it's fickle. I don't like it. It's not really reliable like a midfielder. Like when a
It really
midfielder
is.
hauls, it's just fucking game changing. When a striker hauls, like if just compare a midfielder hat trick to a striker hat trick. It's not even why even try to go for that if it's not optimal. It's like
Yeah, for real. I guess also just thinking about there are like the state of strikers is like really kind of in disarray. Like if you think about um Visa, um like Isak,
yeah.
Solanke's injured. I think there actually could be a lot of like if Wisa ends up going to Newcastle, I think that'll be a great asset. Isak at Liverpool also a great asset. Like, yeah, the striker market there are a lot of players in sort of disarray. Even like Sheshko, um, not like the track record with United strikers is not great, but I saw him go through the legs and dunk it. So he's got some he's got some aura there. So maybe he could go. But yeah, I'd say the state of strikers in FPL right now is definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I don't think there's any good like really cheaper options. Like 7.5, I
Not
feel
right
like
now,
is
yeah.
yeah, like that's sort of like there. I feel like there's just a lot more like the amount of like my midfield of Kudus and Semenyo, they're all under 7.5.
Right.
Like, and they're all gonna, I think, be great. Maybe not India, but yeah. I mean, so
Yeah,
yeah,
who's the best striker under 7.5, I wonder. It's tough.
it was
I feel
probably
like
Evan
Strand
Nielsen.
Larson or Evan Nielsen. Oh yes, Evan Nielsen at 7. Yeah. Evan
That's
Nielsen
why
or
I had him
Strandy.
for a while. It's just because like he was like, I don't want to go 7.5 for a striker. He's the only one that's like 7.
Yeah.
And I did
Yeah,
want a Bournemouth player, but yeah.
Nick Jackson, if he makes a move to Newcastle at 6.5,
Ooh, yeah, that'd be
that
sick.
would be really solid. Yeah, for Charlison, I would say stay away.
Yeah.
I like Richarlison. I've had him on my team, but like last year when he was a midfielder too, like it kind of was
Hmm.
really tempting. But
Welbeck
yeah,
is a
he's
popular.
who? Oh, Welbeck,
Welbeck?
yeah, Welbeck. But honestly, I think Reuter keeps that spot. I think he was good. He
Yeah.
played well for that match week, and I don't know. They'll probably rotate, and maybe Reuter will come off the bench certain weeks, and Welbeck will start. But I feel like he hasn't lost his minutes yet, at least.
Hmm.
Oh, Igor Thiago at Brentford is worth a shout too. Actually, um,
He did get a
he
10.
scored a goal. I think he's on penalties. And he was a big transfer for them a couple years ago. I guess it was maybe last offseason. then he tore his ACL. So he hasn't really gotten the chance, besides like a couple cameos last year, to really prove his spot. But I mean, we'll see what happens without Thomas Frank, because he was the engine of that team, and the tactics that he had were very striker friendly. We'll see. I think they can still be a very striker friendly team, and Igor Thiago could be a name to look out for, especially only 6 mil. That's a really good enabler. So we'll see. Yeah, striker market, interesting. I think that's it. I don't know if you wanted to talk about anything from match week 1.
I guess I'll insert some refereeing decisions to the mix.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, we talked about the United Arsenal game and the illegal screens, and there was a big controversy about Chelsea, Crystal Palace. I don't know if you saw the incident.
I did not.
Okay.
No, what was this incident?
Eze scored a free kick. At the
Oh,
time when I was watching the game, it's like it was fine. And they ended up like wiping it out because Gehi pushed, I think it was Caicedo, and like sort of like in the when Eze was taking the free kick, and they called it back not for a foul, which I thought it was at first. Like when it went in, I didn't look like a foul, but looking at the replay, I was like, okay, there's an obvious push that influences the play. It's just like we just can't have people pushing each other, you know. But what is this, an Arsenal match? But the rule they invoked to wipe out this goal was that there was a player within a meter or a yard of the wall.
oh wow.
It, that is
I've
a
never seen that
crazy
before.
rule. I know, right? Don't opposition players make the wall bigger, or like players who are on the team of the free kick who are taking the free kick? Don't they also sometimes line up as a part of the wall who are the opposition team? Like I
Right.
never heard
Yeah.
this rule invoked. I think they only invoked it because they were just like, oh, that the he pushed him. And
Yeah.
also, it looks like I didn't hear many people talking about this, but from the replays I saw, I was just like, Gehi pushes him. The ball, like the shot goes like around Gehi, and I think
Mhm.
that not that he was offside, but I'm just like that's like too much. Why are we doing all this? Just like
Right.
like why are you trying to block like I guess intentionally block the keeper like that type of thing. Not that that's a rule or anything, unless you're offside. But
Right.
I think they were just trying to find a way to rationalize it. So that was interesting. But a lot of people are mad about it. They can keep crying. I think it was a foul. Probably should have been disallowed. Probably not for that rule, but it was weird. Again, bad reffing. And you probably watched the Everton match, right? Was it
Yeah.
a handball?
Oh, I actually didn't see that.
Oh my
I think
god. I
I don't
don't
think
think it
I
was
was
a
watching this.
handball. I don't think it was a handball. It was pretty painful because Tarkowski, like he sort of goes down and it hits him like sort of near the sleeve,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he really tries hard to keep the ball at his side. His arm is definitely making his body bigger,
Mm.
but it just seemed really harsh. And even though Everton deserved to lose that game, that was pretty bad. They need to just work on the handball rules again. Like I don't know, they need to like really seriously come out with like a detailed presentation of like this is a handball. This is the definition, this is the circumstance. Like it just seems like it's always shifting. Like there's just the gray area around it cuz like he had his hands at his side. Did it make his hands or his silhouette bigger? Yes. But like I don't know what you expect him to do, honestly. Like, and in the moment, it looked more egregious. But you think about it for more than 5 seconds, you're just like, okay, his arms are at his side. It was close, but yeah, no handball, so just another year in the prem of
Yeah.
refs.
I prefer I feel like the Champions League handball rules are a lot more cut and dry. They seem to have officiated differently and better for the most part. But yeah, also he's had a free kick. I feel like this is maybe the second or third time that he's had
This
a
is
free
true.
kick that has been. I had him on my FPL team.
Me
I think it was
too. No,
last
I
year,
was really
and
pissed
he
about
had a
that.
free kick that he scored, and then somehow they reversed it. So yeah, I think that the refs just hate when a awesome player like Eze scores a free kick. So if he moves to Arsenal, then they can start doing that. I'm fine with it. But
Well, I
as
think
long as
Ezra's
he's
going
at
to
Palace,
Spurs,
oh yeah, I saw that.
which is
Yeah, all
sort
right.
of crazy. Honestly,
Yeah, honestly,
like,
that's cool. As
well,
Thomas Frank, Eze under Thomas Frank, that I think that'll be awesome.
I mean, he could be as what price is Eze right now? If he goes to
7.5,
Spurs,
I think. Or is he 7?
let's see. Oops, I'm in the wrong section.
7.5.
He's no Semenyo. Okay, but
Yeah. Yeah,
uh,
also like with Kudus, I feel like they're kind of both gonna be feeding off of each other a little bit. Like that's gonna be a rotation that's tough. As it clears Kudus by a lot, so I think he'll play, but he might not play 90 every time.
yeah, and I would feel bad if I was an Arsenal supporter for many reasons, but not getting Eze is pretty brutal. They need another winger.
Yeah.
They
I
need
don't know
another
what they're
winger.
doing. Yeah,
Like,
I would rather pay like overpay for Eze than bring in Madueke.
oh my
And he
god,
fits the
yes.
need more like they need a left winger and yeah,
Yeah,
so
Eze can literally play anywhere across the front three. Like, I mean, he's more of a winger, but like I feel like he's played as a striker sometimes at Crystal Palace in the past,
yeah,
not
yeah,
so
he
much
can go down
recently.
the
But
middle for sure.
yeah, so it's just like, what are they doing? Maybe they're waiting for Rodrigo.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean Rodrigo, we'll see what happens. It seems like Savinho's staying at City, so um
Yeah, like
not
I
sure
mean,
what's going on
the
there.
reports are saying that Savinho is a separate deal from Eze or whatever, but
Oh, that would be interesting. I mean, yeah, Thomas Frank. I like that Thomas Frank is making money moves. This is the first time he's like been able to spend ever. So we'll
this is
see.
true.
We'll see. Yeah. The matches to look out for next week? Let's see. I'm looking at the fixtures here. I think Liverpool Newcastle should be very good.
The Isaac
We'll
Derby.
see. Yeah, the Isak Derby. Fulham versus United. I'm really interested to see how United play against
The
a
team
team
who
that's not
plays
quite as.
football. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Palace versus Forest. We got two European teams that qualified for Europe and one that got screwed out of it. Um, yeah, I think that we should have some good games. City Spurs, I think, should be very interesting. So yeah, should be an exciting match week 2 here.
Sunderland, Burnley. Can I
Yeah,
get Black Cats
yeah,
in the
Sunderland get their second. Yeah, Los Gatos Negros.
chat?
Let's see them get their second win here. Yeah, but yeah, I think solid get match week 1 overall. Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
Daichi, play us out.
Title fight? Get in there! Get in there! You beauty! Come on, you! Love that from you. I didn't say it. No headlines. I did not say we're in a title fight. The media said that we were in a title fight. Okay.
Hashtag believe.
Wow, yeah, I'm on there, yeah. Every player's a risk, having families.